So tell us about Usyk.
Just mentally drains you, man. You cannot ever stop thinking.
He hit hardest.
He caught me I caught a body shot, and he kept doing the same shot to the body, right hand to the body.
And what about Ngannou?
Pull up, and Ngannou's running on the treadmill, and Ronnie goes, "What the fuck?" Yeah,
Is that what it is?
They only spar for 3 weeks, and they are going to war spars.
I would find that annoying. Do you not agree?
100% I agree. 100% I agree.
Off, yeah.
Especially because when you get comments and they're like, "What's he done?" Rah, rah, rah. And the thing is, bro, but if I wasn't doing well against these guys, I would come home and hang the gloves up, because I'm like, what's the point?
What are your top 5 heavyweights? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another installation of And Still Boxing. I'd like to welcome our Australian heavyweight sleeper with a record of 7-0, 5 KOs, standing at a mighty 6'7", fighting out of Sydney, New South Wales, Jackson White Chocolate Murray. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for the intro.
Oh, that's all right.
Beautiful. You got me pumped up.
I'm pumped up as well. Let's effing go. All right. Man, listen, honestly, I think you're a bit of a sleeper in the heavyweight division right now. The heavyweight division in Australia is up, 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 gone to the moon, rocket, as Eddie Hearn would say.
Yeah.
All right. I think it's very, very interesting. And out of all these maybe 5 or 6 guys that are on a world-class level, I think you're the sleeper out of all of them. People don't actually probably know you as well as they should, as they would say, Brendan Gratch or other names of other people, Tara Moanas and these Brent Hoonies.
Yeah, of course.
All right, and that's alarming. However, before we go down that route, what I think is very interesting is this was kind of like in your wake when I remember seeing you at, say, the George Kambosos build-up for that. And I first time I saw you, and I'm like, I've seen this guy, but like, you know, but where? And people would come up to me and go, oh, yeah, he's actually been overseas quite a bit in Europe and such, sparring a lot of big names and a lot of these types of people. People like Anthony Joshua, Alexander Usyk. Any other names that you want to add in there?
Aji Kabayel, Francis Ngannou, Filip Ergovic. Yeah, that's obviously over in America, but yeah.
Yeah. They're like, if you put all those guys in a room together, they're probably within all the top 15 of heavyweights.
Yeah.
Ngannou, look at the performance he did against Fury.
Yeah.
That's hectic. For you to, for example, if you take, say, George Kambosos, where he really cut his, teeth, I guess, would be when he did 200 rounds with Pacquiao.
Yeah.
Their type, that's the quality that you will never get in Australia.
Yeah.
For now, at least.
Absolutely, yeah.
And how do you think that developed you as a boxer?
Yeah, so because my amateur experience was very was very little, I never got the opportunities, even though I qualified, but I never got the opportunities to go overseas for, world tournaments and stuff like that. I never got that overseas exposure, and just being on that stage as well. So I always saw these sparring opportunities as an opportunity for myself to grow and put myself in that uncomfortable zone, because I've said it before, a lot of people will sort of turn you away from it. It could be people in your team, whether it's a coach or whatever. And I had some people saying to me, don't do it because they're feeding you to the wolves and blah, blah, blah. And, when you're doing that, because you're going over there as a sparring partner. And initially my hopes were that I would get opportunities from it. But when you're going in camps, especially with bigger names like this, they're only worried about their guy, So at the same time that the opportunities didn't come, I still took a lot from it. Because when I was there, I wasn't there to sort of take part per se. I was there to still develop my skills. And, I would go home after sparring and I would say, why did he catch me with this? What was I doing here? What could I improve on this? And I'd watch the other guys spar and I would learn from what they were doing good, and then I would adapt.
It's like an apprenticeship.
Yeah, of course. Whereas a lot of the other guys who go into these sparring camps, they go there to be a sparring partner, get paid, go home, whereas I take everything that I do as a lesson. Every time I go into the gym, I'm always there to be, cliche, but 1% better. So, and whether that's in a sparring camp or whether it's here training. So
Yeah, this is the quality that you just don't get. Like, even if you just happen to be there and just want the money, like you are like passively getting better because you can end up in the hospital otherwise. These guys crack. With that said, these are some serious names here. You've got the who hit hardest. Like these are all heavyweights. This is the creme de la creme.
Oh, I forgot one before as well. Murat Gassiev. You just when you were talking about who hit the hardest, you reminded me.
Yeah.
I definitely have to say AJ punches the hardest in terms of one punch power that I've been in the ring with.
Has he cracked you with one and you're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, on my arm. He caught me I caught a body shot and he kept doing the same shot to the body, right hand to the body,
And who was this in preparation for?
Otto Wallen.
Ah.
Yeah, Southpaw.
Oh, he done a number on him. So this was like when he was changing a few things
100%.
up, being a bit more of a boxer.
And the camp manager had actually told me they were so excited because this was one of the first camps they'd seen in a long time with AJ where he was actually, because things were going around saying that AJ only spars really light, it's just like rhythm sparring, blah, blah, blah. And that was where he had really turned the switch and you saw that in the fights where he was having with Helenius, Ngannou, Wallen, you saw that in those fights.
That big stretch, everyone's like, oh, AJ's back and he's different.
Yes. And yeah, as I said, he can crack. He can crack. I thought he broke my arm. I caught a body shot and he hooked it. And these were 16-ounce gloves. And I thought he broke my arm at one point. It was like, I caught the shot. Like, what else? What more can I do? So I was like, all right, I'm using my feet with this dude.
Yeah.
But surprisingly enough, close behind is Gassiev. Murat Gassiev is a cruiserweight. He's come up to heavyweight now, man. That dude punches, but he's a small heavyweight, so it's easier to get away. But if you're there to get hit, bro, you can punch.
And what about Ngannou? Like he obviously dropped Fury. I mean, obviously a big guy in the UFC, dropping a lot of.
It's a different power. So like. You need to have that crack on your punch as well. It can't just be brute force.
Like pushy.
So exactly right. So when Ngannou would land it would end more of a push instead of like a whip. Whereas like guys who train only boxing, they have more of that whip in their punch because that's all we have to learn. So it's a smaller thing to perfect, and you get that over time. So. Yeah, with Ngannou it was more, but like wrestling on the inside with Ngannou.
That's what I was going to say, because you saw like Fury struggle with that. It took a stronger guy in AJ to kind of counter that, but you noticed that wrestling on the inside, he was just
they were working on that. Of course, they were working on draining Fury in the wrestling in the clinch, and they were practicing that on me. So. When we'd tie up, he'd put his arms around and squeeze like this to the point where like it was pushing
squeeze
air out
and drop?
of me. Yeah, like squeeze and push his head in. So he'd almost like bear hug you.
And this is a unit.
Oh man, so I told my coach because my coach came over. He saw the second spar. So I told my coach before we got there, I said to my coach, he's a big Samoan guy, so I said to him, hey, bro, wait till you see the size of this dude. He looks like he's made in a lab, like it's Photoshop, like in real life. And Ronnie's like, yeah, like this. He got to the gym and we pull up and Ngannou's running on the treadmill and Ronnie goes, what the fuck? He saw it, I go, bro, I told you.
Yeah, he's bear hugging me and shit.
Yeah, bro, so... Yeah, I wasn't trying to stay in there with him, that's for sure.
Yeah, right. Okay, so a bit pushy, but they were doing some other things to counter that.
Yeah.
Because that was a really good game plan. He gassed. And Fury,
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Whether Fury took it as serious as what he should have is another thing as well. But, man, as I said...
What was the rumour mill around that?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But the other thing was as well, which it's actually caught me off guard, and I'm sure Fury would have been thinking the same, is I thought Ngannou was just going to be like I'm watching his UFC highlights before I'd spar him, and it's rush forward, boom, 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 big windmills. Where you saw in the Fury fight, he was a complete opposite, real patient, just sitting there, and then that sort of builds suspense too. So you got to really be on your game, and it throws you off at first because he's not doing anything that you thought he was going to do. So, yeah, when that sort of, I think Fury was maybe anticipating that as well, an early onslaught, and then, just box him. And
I think try and blast him out of there in a couple of rounds.
Public were thinking too,
Yeah.
But
they're playing long game, gas him out, gas out the fat boy, apparently.
Yeah.
Right. So tell us about Usyk. What fight was this in preparation for?
Both Fury fights.
Oh, right, because you're a big white guy.
Yeah, I don't know whether the colour mattered, but
It did. I guarantee it would have.
But I've got somewhat of a similar style of Fury for all these guys. I'm naturally a southpaw. I fight southpaw, but I'm in orthodox, except for the
Are you a switch hitter?
the AJ. Yeah. So in the AJ camp, I was able to be in southpaw. Gassiev, I was able to be southpaw, and Kabayel. But for Hrgovic, Usyk, and Ngannou, I was in orthodox. So I was in my opposite stance. So it got to be tricky. But yeah, man, Usyk is a different kind of whole different kettle of fish to everybody else. Whole different kettle of fish. Obviously coming up from the cruiserweights, and you see his style. It's just he just mentally drains you, man. You cannot ever stop thinking.
Is it like that constant pressure with the front foot? He's always just there. He's always just
and
not
he's
there.
always moving as well, and he's always setting something up, and then he'll be setting something up.
Would you say the highest IQ heavyweight?
Of course,
at the moment,
of course,
yeah,
by far. I've learned some tricks over time as well, and I spar with him, and you'll go to do this, and he'll counter it, and then you go, okay, I'm going to counter that counter now, so I'll set him up for that trick. Then he counters, good. Now I got to counter that. He's already ahead of that now. He knows that I'm planning that now.
Yeah, he's like he's seen that move 100 times. Yeah,
it's just like, well, what can I do? So then, yeah, when you try to mix it up with him, it's not a fun day. But if you end up finding a style that works best for you, which is most of the time staying long and keeping him, trying to sort of control him off that lead hand.
Yeah.
So yeah, you work that more. Definitely don't try to play into the chess game with him. You've
done your ass then.
Well, you see what happened with the AJ fights. AJ sort of tried to play chess a bit with him, and probably wasn't the best game plan for him, I suppose.
Not playing into his natural game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and trying to get him out with a big shot then, because he gasses and that's the thing which I've kind of been somewhat, not predicting, but a trend that I've been seeing, and I highlighted it, in which I think that heavyweights, they seem to be getting a little bit smaller at the moment, from the 6'7" and stuff like that, big units, AJ. But they've dropped down now back to the 6'4", like the Usyk, and they volume these guys.
Yeah.
Volume, footwork, and then you're so big, you're carrying so much mass, you're going to gas, and they get him out there late.
100%.
Have you seen that trend? Because you're a big, but you're not
absolutely.
You're good shape.
Yeah, so that's why I feel like I'm sort of like a happy medium.
Yeah.
So that's why I got to make sure that my skills are tight though too, because I'm not relying on one big punch either. I'm not 130 kilos, like some of these other guys.
How much are weighing in now? You're not very close to a 5, which we'll go into a bit.
107.
Yeah.
107 kilos. So that's normally what I fight at. That's normally what I'm around all the time. Obviously, travel and stuff like that might play with my weight a kilo or two, but I'm always around this weight. So, but yeah, bro, I'm always just I'm always developing skills, not just focusing on, I'm not going in to look for, if it goes 10 rounds, it goes 10 rounds. That's fine. I know I'll box that 10 rounds. But if that shot's there, I know I can land it too. So
yeah, that's the nature for the heavyweights, isn't it?
Yeah,
Almost a different sport, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, right. So you've taken a lot from him. Did he actually be how is he in camp? Is he a bit of a, doesn't talk much? Or is he actually a super nice guy, got jokes?
No,
and he'll
cool.
be actually do this. Hey, man, do this.
He's a little bit, with all due respect, but he's a little bit moody. But I get that. In camp, it's a hard camp, but he's always cool. Always cool. If you say good day to him, he says, he's really cool.
Hello.
But there's days where he wants to chat. There's days where he doesn't want to chat. So he just sort of it's when he wants to, then you chat.
Yeah.
But I got pretty close with him and the team, a lot of the boys there. And, I ended up, I probably spoke with him one of my other mates who was in camp as well. We were sort of probably the closest with him. But, yeah, I mean, because I would always talk to him. I want to try to learn things off him as well, So that's why I always want to keep that, build that relationship and learn from him too.
Yeah. Hey, can you tell us a story of you're going over to the Usyk camp, but a few things happen, and there's a bit of a story that should belong in a book. We're discussing a little bit earlier, but I think this should be on the record. This is ladies and gentlemen, this is a high-level story. This is genuinely got to be true. You told me earlier, I'm like, this is crazy. Please, you have the floor. This is insane.
So I'd finished my camp in Russia, and then I was heading straight from there to the Usyk camp, and I'd you know, a lot of jet lag and what have you, and I had a few drinks in Barcelona and ended up falling asleep on like a bench sort of thing, and I had a bum bag on me and it had literally everything in it: my passport, my cash, my wallet, my phone, and I woke up, you know, however long later, and the whole thing was empty and I had nothing.
Gypsies.
And well, look, I don't know what it was, but it was someone who wanted to steal my shit, and they got it. So, yeah, I had literally had nothing. I had 16 euros in my pocket, and I didn't know what to do. I dead set had no idea what to do. I had booked the hotel only for one night, and it was that night, and I'd fallen asleep, and yeah, it was like.
So the one night you had it, you didn't stay in it.
Exactly.
You're on a bench,
and it was the top shelf hotel. Yeah. It was the W in Barcelona. It's the nicest hotel in Barcelona on the
Club
water.
Dub.
Man, my suitcases got the night, and I got. So when I went in the morning, I ended up just walking. I walked back to the hotel. I took my bags down, left them in the lobby, and then I'm like, yeah, I'll be back. And I walked out. I just walked outside the hotel and just like scratched my head. I'm like, I don't know what to do. Yeah. So I walked to the police station and I filled out a big police report and blah, blah, blah. And they were like, oh, okay. And I said, so now what? And they were like, we'll text you if we find your stuff. I go, text me on what? And he was like, we email you. And I'm like, email me on what? I'm like, bro, I don't have anything. I'm like, I don't know what to do. And then I was asking him about where the nearest embassy was. It was 2.5 hours away. It was in Madrid. So, man, I walked around. As I said, I had that 16 euros in my pocket. I went and bought beer. And I was like, I didn't know what to do. I'd given up, man. I had no idea what to do. And then I was drinking. And then at night I'd go to a club and I'd try to talk to people and see if I could, you know, and then
through the day I was trying to
listen. Through the day I was walking up La Rambla, which is like the main sort of strip there, the touristy spot, and I was trying to find anyone with an Australian accent that, you know, might be able to help me, that have a phone that they could call people back home, and yeah, obviously no luck. And then it was like the third day, and I was literally sitting. I had cans next to me, and this dude walks past me and he goes, are you Jackson Murray? And I was like, what? And he was like, man, I thought I saw you out the other night. And he's like, yeah. And his missus was telling me, yeah, we went past, we weren't sure if it was you, blah, blah, blah. And then, man, I told him the long and short of the story, and then he just said, bro, I've got you, man. He's like, come with me. He's like, but first, we're getting on the beers. And I was like, all right.
Way ahead of you. I'm
like, well, he's saving me. So
don't worry about it.
We got to get it done, you know? So, but man, best people, shout out Hugh, shout out Alex, man. They were
big Hugh and Alex people.
Unbelievable. I ended up staying at their hostel for 2 nights. We got a phone. And Anna. Shout out Anna. She ended up helping us as well. So I got a phone, and then they ended up booking me a train to Valencia. I got in touch with the new old phone. I got in touch with Usyk's camp, and they ended up picking us up from Valencia. So I was a bit worse for wear when I got to camp, but it was all right.
Yeah, that's hectic, bro. That's high level. That belongs in like a story in a book, you know, if you become world champion, you know?
Yeah.
And here's the funny thing. How'd you know them? Like, how'd they be like, oh, are you?
So Hugh's a big boxing fan. Yep. He's a huge boxing fan. Yep. He nearly knows as much about boxing. Like, when that was all we were talking, poor old Alex, his missus, was just sitting there like this the whole night. She was just like, me and Hugh were just talking like, he's like, ask me about sparring this guy. What do you think about this? And then I'm like, oh, and then we were just talking boxing, man, non-stop. And then once you get a couple of beers in as well, it just gets worse.
Just goes hard, real hard in the
It's just like, yeah, man. And then, so it was just... Yeah, it was.
He got you on your way.
Yeah,
what a hero! Man. That's hectic, man. Then you got you probably can't get any better rounds than with Usyk, man. Like, and I said, you take those skills and bring them back here, and then not only give them to other people in Australia, but you know you're ahead of the game. But probably 90% of people.
The other thing is as well, which I've found I've benefited from as well, is seeing what it takes in terms of their training, not just being in the ring, but seeing how these guys train outside of the ring as well.
What does it take?
You know, so you know, Usyk trains 3 times a day, and he Usyk has a lot of money to spend on his camps as well. So he's got obviously top recovery. He's got a sports scientist that follows him around every move. He's got, Usyk uses a whoop non-stop. He won't walk here unless the whoop says he can. Like it's literally like that. Yeah.
Me and Usyk built the same.
Yeah. That's the peak athleticism there.
Is what it
I
is.
see it in you.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so that's the thing. Like being in these camps, like AJ, for example, like I take a lot away. AJ will warm up for an hour and a half before training. He will just he will activate, his entire body is activated before sparring, before training. We'd get there 45 minutes before we'd spar, and AJ was already sweating, like warming up, and he'd already been there for probably half an hour, 45, and he would still be warming up the whole time. Like I'd warm up like twice. Like I'd warm up, cool down, and then warm up again, and he's still going on the same, so. And then I've adapted a lot more of that into taking the warm-up more seriously, taking stuff from what he does for his warm-up, and putting that into mine as well.
Yep.
And yeah, just little things like that you take away from the camps too.
Yeah, exactly.
As I said, I'm always watching. I'm dead set a sponge when I go in these camps, and I'm just soaking up everything I can, literally everything, as I said, not just in the ring, outside.
Yeah, it's like you go in, don't be a gronk, and then the shit that you can walk away with, what it takes, the mentality, the 1%ers, the warming up, and then obviously jumping in the rounds and that IQ stuff. It's more than just bashing people in the ring. It's a preparation for it, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And that's, when I'm trying, like for my camp now, I'm like, well, I know these guys will be doing this, so I need to go and get that done, So whatever it is, like that's why I made sure I got two sessions a day in for this whole camp now.
Yeah.
So
because we were talking to each other maybe 8 weeks ago, approximately. You've lost a lot of weight since then, like good weight, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I have. I was being a bit of just training once a day and I love my dessert, so I was eating a bit of dessert here and there, But and then once the training amps up, everything just goes back into routine, man, cutting back on the sweet tooth a bit and going in. But like I never blow out. Like I've never been over 108, 109, like it'd be a kilo or two.
Yeah.
It's not like a big blowout with a lot.
Yeah, you're always pretty stable.
Yeah, where I've got to struggle, like I've got to try and get back to the weight where I was. It just happens,
That's optimal. With that said, we have Usyk and Dubois coming up. As objectively as you can, how do you think that fight's going to go? And do you think the first fight was a knockdown or a low blow?
We're going to put that in there. I actually watched this again the other day. I've watched it a few times.
And one more time, And Still Boxing was actually at the fight. And here's the poster right here. That's the reason that we have it there.
Yeah,
We're at the fight.
Yeah, that's it. Where was it at?
Wrocław, Poland. Which
right.
Amanda, our producer, is actually from, or very close to there.
Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, right. So the body shot, it's hard. It was definitely, I think it's definitely considered low. Was it low enough for how long Usyk had is another question. So it wasn't probably low enough for it to be his actual nuts.
Yeah.
But the shot was below the belt. So like if you look at it, his hand, he lands a shot like this and his belly button, you could still see his belly button. It was below his belly button. So like it's low. Mm-hmm. It's considered low. But yeah, I don't know whether it took the amount of time that was taken is another thing.
Don't you think it was funny? He was grabbing at his nuts like, oh, my balls, but it was nowhere near it. It was like that region between like, I know, the top of your groin and like your lower guts.
Yeah. Which again, it's an illegal spot. So it's like technically it is still low. So yeah. I mean, it doesn't say you get the 5 minutes because he hit you straight on the nuts. Yeah. It says if they hit you low, you get the 5 minutes. So that's what it is.
Full stop.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So coming into the next fight, I think, again, with Usyk's IQ, I think he's definitely going to be able to adapt a lot more than what Dubois will, but also Dubois is on a huge confidence sort of
he's on a high.
Like, yeah, he's on a big high. So I don't know, man. Obviously, of course, I want Usyk to win, but I think he will. I definitely think he will. Like if gun to my head, I'm definitely going Usyk. But it's a good fight.
It is a good fight. You know what, man? in my opinion, a good boxer the better boxer will always win the rematch. All right, and probably no one's better than Usyk. We've seen it time and time again. I think Dubois actually got a little bit lucky in the sense, like, obviously it's not all like it's hard work and he obviously trained for it, but against a Anthony Joshua that wanted to come forward and take his head off, probably wasn't the appropriate game plan for him, and he walked onto that power. He walked onto a lot of the shots as well, and like evasively, defensively wasn't probably as responsible as he has been in previous fights. He wanted to go and take his head off. So almost that's blinded people to his ability, and he's had almost a year off. He's meant to fight Joseph Parker, didn't happen, sick, and now he's going, and it was meant to fight Miller, and then now it's this. Dubois, I don't think he's going to get exposed, I think. I don't think he's as good as like people make him out to be.
Yeah.
After that win.
Yeah. Especially like the people Dubois has been beating are not like AJ was. He just got AJ straight off the bat. Like he was just AJ just wasn't sort of on, and then AJ ended up landing a shot, as you said. Like AJ ended up landing a shot, and
Wobbled him,
and then AJ stood in front of him with both of his hands down like that.
Then he threw the uppercut and got dumped. He walked onto it.
Yeah, literally. He just standing there. I actually watched that again the other day as well. I'm constantly watching fights.
Yeah, 100%. I like that. I like that student of the sport sort of idea.
Absolutely. That's what I'm. Even when I was in construction, man, I was in the smoko shed. It'd always be boxing fights on, and all the blokes were like, "Fucking boxing again! Turn it off!" Like this. So I have to go and eat outside.
Yeah, but like, do you want to get dropped? Yeah.
Nah, none of that. None of that. I don't get paid.
Be funny though, bro. And Kabayel. God, there's too many guys that you've done that I actually want to get the insight on because it's actually really interesting. Kabayel, man, this guy I think is like one of these smaller guys that we've seen that are coming through of the heavyweights. He's like 6'4", like which it's still like a large man in comparison to like 99% of the world.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? He's relentless, bro.
Yeah.
The cardio is hectic, and like it doesn't look like he's soft-handed, man.
Yeah.
He looks like he's got a chin. Look what happened against Big Bang.
Yeah, so
I'm like, what the F am I looking at?
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. Even being in the Kabayel camp for Zhang, I thought Zhang was going to win because he gets hit. He gets hit, but it doesn't faze him. He did like, and I just thought, when you see Zhang, when he lands, man,
dynamite,
crazy,
Big Bang Zhang,
crazy, yeah. So like, I just thought that Kabayel would eventually get hit because I knew he would have to close that distance, and he loves being on your chest. He loves being on your chest, and he'll just work.
He's good at it.
And as I said, like he especially out of southpaw, he is easy to hit, and I thought that would, but man, he just walks through him. He's just a proper juggernaut, man. He's just a proper juggernaut, but.
Decent head movement. Like, is that what it is?
They only spar for 3 weeks. So that's the funny thing as well, is Usyk spars for 12, 11 or 12 weeks. And Kabayel only spars for 3 weeks, but he spars 4 times a week. He'll spar Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. And they are going to war spars. And they spar 3-minute 45 rounds. 3-minute 45 rounds, and then you go again on the 4-minute mark.
3-minute
45.
Oh, 3-minute 45. Okay, yeah.
3 minutes and 45 seconds.
Yep.
And then when it hits 4 minutes, you go again. So it's 3 minutes 45 on, 15 seconds off.
And you're doing the same.
Well, that's what we were doing with him. Yeah. It was disgusting. Like you walk over to the corner and they go, and then you turn around. And yep. And you're like,
and he's like sweet about it. Is this how he gets his gas tank up?
I would say so. Yeah. And man, he goes to war in there as well. Like
he's Turkish, isn't he? Turkish German?
Kurdish.
Sorry, yes.
Yeah, so man, he's just tough, and he will just keep going. Like I saw him, not bad, definitely not bad, but I think I saw him get wobbled a few times. He just keeps going. Like he wouldn't go, oh, that's not good, and then sort of box a bit
in the camp.
Yeah. He just doesn't care. He will just keep going. Like. That's the thing, man. Like he's mentally just rock solid.
And where do you think he fits into the heavyweight sphere at the moment?
Well, the thing is, when you have a style like Kabayel, it's a dangerous style because when you do get hit like that and you take shots like that, it sort of comes down to only a matter of time, which is what you saw with Joe Joyce, which is a perfect example. Joe Joyce is by no means anywhere near the skill set of Kabayel or the IQ, but it is the same concept in terms of the chin. So, should Kabayel's chin hold up, man, I think he could beat anybody. I honestly think he could beat anybody. Like, if he stood in there with Zhang and was fine, like no shots even sort of worried him really. He went down, but it was just like a flash, and then he got back up and was straight back to it.
Proper fine, yeah.
He did. It was nothing, you know. And then, should it be that? Then, yeah, man, he's going to be a problem for anybody. But
and how'd you go against him? Like, you've been 6'7", you have 3 inches on him, probably
the
mad
ring,
reach.
The ring was half the size of this room as well. Perfect for Kabayel.
Okay.
It was a nightmare, but it was good, man. It was good, and I worked on, because a lot of the stuff I've been working on as of recent with my coach is working on my inside game, because obviously that's what everyone wants to do. So you got to be a universal fighter, and that's what I've always wanted to do as well. So I stood in there. They didn't want to use me at first because I was only 107 kilos.
Yeah.
So they were huge on weight. They would like bring scales to the gym. Kabayel's camp would bring scales to the gym and get all the sparring partners. What do you weigh? What do you weigh? Because obviously Zhang being 130 something kilos.
Yeah, big.
They were more concerned on weight, not just southpaw and working on, you know, strategies against the southpaw, you know, where the weight shouldn't really matter. Like, I was in with Fury for Fury, and Fury's 127, 6'9", but I was still getting probably the most rounds out of anyone than in the Usyk camp. But with Kabayel, they were so focused on weight that so there was a big Cuban guy there, southpaw from Germany, from Cuba but lives in Germany now, and he was the other guy in there. Good fighter, man, very very good fighter, tough. He's coming through. Carlos Rodriguez. Yeah. He's coming through. He's tough.
Very generic Cuban name.
100%. Yeah, John Smith.
Yeah.
So he was doing probably the most rounds, and he was 134 or something at the time. They brought the scales in. They see that Carlos weighs 134. They're jumping, and they're like, yes, this is perfect.
We got one.
Yeah. You know, so I sparred three times with Kabayel. And it was good. Like, I worked on the inside, we went at it, man. It was, because I only sparred the 3 times. It was like once a week. So, like, when I got in, I was just like, I'm not fucking showing these guys telling me I'm too light. I'm going to stand in there, because a lot of the other guys are trying to box more, stay long with him. And I was like, no, you want to go inside?
Yeah, we'll go. Let's go, brother.
Go, bro.
Western Sydney, cuz.
100%, brother.
And especially coming in from Ngannou, all that big leaning, the wrestling background, you're like, Kabayel, nothing, brother.
Well, yeah. That
heaps.
dude rips a body shot. Kabayel, man, that dude rips a body shot, but... Man, it was hectic. I knew he was going for that body shot.
Yeah, a lot of catch
so
counter.
Just hold it down. Yeah, and then just counter him off it. But he, as I said, he's easy to catch, but he just won't stop, man. He just will not stop. You know, sometimes he catch people with good shots.
It's like Margarito. You hit him with your best shot, and you're like, oh no.
With who?
Like Antonio Margarito. You crack him with your best shot, and he'd just be like, smile.
Yeah.
Brandon Rios.
They just won't stop until they're done. Like that's what Kabayel's like. Yeah.
That's hectic. That's very fun, because he's got some bright things coming.
Oh man, yeah.
So that's their amazing experiences.
Yeah.
And what you like, that's pretty much every single style and every single guy coming up, besides maybe like in a Tuma or somebody like that you haven't gone against.
Yeah.
Yet. All right. So this is a crazy thing. You've gone overseas. You spent all this time with all these guys. You've gotten into, as you said, like, you basically messaged Usyk, right? To be like, hey, I want to come over do some rounds. I'm a big, tall, white guy. I'm like Tyson Fury, white chalk. And then they're like, yeah, sweet, we want a big, tall, white guy.
Yeah.
And then you kind of get, your name gets passed around, and this is how you've done all the rounds with everybody. Is that correct, how you were?
Yeah. The Hrgovic camp got in contact with me through Dempsey McKean. Actually, that was the first sparring camp international sparring camp I ever did. They went to Dempsey first. That was for Zhang, the first camp, when Hrgovic fought Zhang. And then, and then Dempsey wasn't able to do it at the time. I think he was fighting. So then...
Who's taller out of you two?
Me, just.
He's like 6'6"?
Yeah. And then, that's how I got in contact with them. And then I think word spreads a little bit there, and then I found out one of the guys that I knew was sparring with Usyk, and then I got the contact off them, and then I was like, I just hit him up. I was like, yeah, and then they've got their like app, and he said, message me on that Ready to Fight app, which is like, it's like a Instagram for boxing. So it's like managers, boxers, promoters all use this. It's
Media?
obviously a lot more common in like Ukraine and parts of Europe. And yeah, and they ended up. They said send me videos here, post videos. So you post videos on it, and I posted a few videos, and they saw my style, and then they were like, "Yep, sweet, come over."
That's actually loose.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, right. Well, get the apps if you want to get some rounds in. That's to all the young fighters out there ready to
so
go.
it's the same for this camp for Dubois. That's where Usyk will post all their sparring opportunities on that app.
Yeah, right. And do they pay well? Do they say like put prices there?
Like obviously every camp's different.
Yeah.
But with Usyk, because it depends. Like it's like US 1,500 a week.
15.
They do like a week though. They do a weekly payment.
Weekly, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. And like, can you get fired and cut for reasons?
Pardon?
Can you get fired and cut for reasons? Like, oh, we don't, not because like it's not the style that we want, but is it like we want you out because like you're a gronk or something?
Not with the Usyk camp. One, I think because they have enough money where they're not worried about it, but they also like keeping people. So they did have guys there who would barely spar, like ever. Like they might spar once in the whole 12 weeks.
Vibe guys.
It's just in case. Like vibe guys. Yeah, but they're just there like just in case someone gets injured or whatever, you know, because you're sparring with Usyk for 3 times a week. So anything can happen as well, you know.
Yeah, definitely not $5,000. I know where I got that. It's a weekly payment. That's right. Yeah. Back to. I swear I heard $5,000 somewhere, like a week maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe I've just made that up completely.
I don't know. When you find out, let me know because I'll get in their camp.
Brother, what do you mean? I'm going to be jumping in.
So I don't care. Super middle, I'll make the weight. I'll get over there.
Just training down, 100%. So anyway, after making $5,000 a day yourself with Usyk, you've come back to Australia. You've had all these experiences. You're a bit of a big dog, but no one knows you. And there's 2 ways to go about it. It's either get a nod from somebody in the know-how. Alternatively to that, you get...
So no one knows me.
No, when I say like the public, you know what I mean?
Joking.
You know?
Yeah, I know.
And it's
I know
like
100%. I know what you're saying.
And it's wild. It's like you've had your experiences and like levels and your skill set that you've now gone up is like so high level, world class experiences with all these guys that you've mentioned that we spent the last 40 minutes talking about. Then it's come back to Australia. It's like oh yeah, like a few boxers know you, but the audience, the crowd now, the NSL boxing crowd will know you. However. This is what I would find that annoying. Do you not agree?
100% I agree. 100% I agree.
Off, yeah.
Especially because when you get comments and they're like, what's he done? Rah, rah, rah. And the thing is, bro, I swear to you, if I wasn't doing well in these camps, not just being there, as I said, not just being there and then still learning, like I said, or even just going there to participate, which I would never do anyway. But if I wasn't doing well against these guys, to which I see... should I fight this guy down the line? This goes for anyone I've sparred. If I don't see that I could beat this guy down the line and I've got enough or I've got what it takes, I would come home and hang the gloves up because I'm like, what's the point? Like, what's the point? I want to be the best, and that's what it is, you know. So like when I come back from these camps, if I'm still boxing, then you know I went well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because you don't like you're shaving years of your life getting hit by these guys. You know, like there needs to be upside to it, and that needs to be financial. All right. So that said, you've come back to Australia. Let's talk about the Australian heavyweight scene, which is on the up and up.
Yep.
Rocket ship to the moon right now. Okay, we have guys that are doing some big things in Australia and really creating what's the word I'm looking for here? You know, a quake amongst the world, I would say. Yeah, right. That's a shit saying. Let's make another one up. Does anyone... Momentum, yeah, sure. Thank you. A bit of momentum. What are your top 5 heavyweights right now in Australia, in order? From best to, you know, going down descending order. 1 to 5.
In terms of currently where they're at, or in terms of what their ability actually is? Let's
go their ability.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, not their popularity, but their ability from 1 to 5. Like if you're going to throw them all in the ring, a big round robin, who would be 1 to 5?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd have tied me and Justice at the top.
Justice Hooney, number 1.
And me.
Oh, and you.
Yeah.
At number 1. All right. Yep.
I genuinely would.
Right. Sorry. Start again. Go.
Yeah. Tied at the top, me and Justice. I've got to give the respect to him because I know he's a good dude. He's a good dude and he's a good boxer, man. I really respect his boxing. I'd have to say either Dempsey or Taramoana. Dempsey's got better skill, but Taramoana can punch, and he knows that. So yeah, it's hard to pinpoint the numbers. But number 3.
You have to give me a number 2. Which one, Dempsey or Taramoana?
I'll go Dempsey.
All right.
I'll go Dempsey because he's done more as well, you know. So I'll go Dempsey, then Taramoana, 3. Number 4. Ivic. Definitely got to give that to Ivic for sure.
Why 4?
I just think top bloke. I really like him, but I just don't know if he's, in terms of skill set. I'm not saying he can't be, but I just don't know if he's there yet. I just don't know if he's there yet. And then that's 4. Number 5. Probably have to go Taliva. Probably have to go Liam. Yeah, I'm trying to think if I forgot anyone. I'd say
Tuivasa?
Nah.
Okay. All right. So who would fall into number 6 then?
Depends. He's not. He's gone Bridgeway now.
Okay.
With Terzievsky, but yeah. But if I would have to put him in, I'd probably put him above Ivic actually, if he was to be in the mix.
Wow.
But again, styles make fights, so it's very hard to do.
For sure. Now,
it's very hard.
Yeah. We're just going like almost a pound for pound in Australia right now.
Yeah.
All right. But it's funny because, you know, those skills that you've brought and you've developed, they're not reflective of like the 1 to 5 in popularity as well. So that's just the nature of boxing.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, online, this is where a lot of things heat up. And as we know that we have the Tim Tszyu fight that happened very recently, all right?
What happened?
And the one that's just happened against Spencer.
Tszyu,
Timmy Tszyu, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's gone over there and he was having his open workout down at Rockdale, Rockdale PCYC, doing his thing. And I went in there, I'm just having a look around, you know, doing my media thing, hello, you know, this, that. And then they have a heavyweight fight, Brendan Gratch versus Liam Taliva'a. And then they started going at each other. But for some reason, Brandon Gratch turned on you. And you were sitting there. This guy was here. And he was just there. He was just chatting away, the shit talking. And then Liam got involved and he got involved. It's a triangle of just going at each other. It's like, brother, I'll fight you next. Just make sure, you get past this one as well to Brandon. And just and I'm firing up. And everyone's like, oh, everyone's pulling out their phones. But that event and that little, like a rivalry in the heavyweight division, it created this buzz around the fight and a buzz around that particular fight, which in my opinion eclipsed or matched Tim Tszyu's big comeback in Australia. That's the power of the heavyweight division. That's the power of you being involved in the Australian heavyweight division, because he's quite funny. If he's funny here, but outside he's smart ass. It's actually pretty funny to get involved in that. I mean, is this a fight that's going to happen, a Brandon Gratch type of situation?
Why? Why now? He ruined it. He ruined it the first time because he got injured. And then he ruined it the second time. He was meant to win and I was meant to fight him after that. And he ruined it. And why should I fight him now when, especially with the opportunity that I have coming up now, my fight next week, why should I fight him now when Liam, who is a 6'1" southpaw, who boxes, but is not, respectfully, he's not as good as me, I feel, in terms of skill set, IQ and stuff like that. I'm longer and I box similar in terms of the boxing style. And he got... Gratch couldn't even hit Taliva. How do you think that would have gone when I fought him? You know what I mean? It's people see knockouts and they think that that's what it is then. You know what I mean? And hopefully over time they'll realise that boxing is boxing. It's not about walking in and brawling and knocking someone out. Although it looks good, obviously, as a boxer, we still want to knock. You envision knocking the guy out, of course.
Especially at heavyweight. And big ticket items.
Absolutely. And we know that as well. That's what brings your market value up too. But if you're relying on that, it will crash quick, and that's what happened to Gratch.
Yep.
So, you know, I said this before that fight, I think all of Gratch's knockouts were just Hail Mary shots that he just threw because it was
The guy was coming on him.
Yeah, and they were just there, you know, they weren't sort of defensive minded at the time, and he just caught him at that time. It was just a Hail Mary shot. It's not like he set it up. You know, so that's why when I saw, and I said this to Liam, that's why when I saw Gratch in the build up to that fight saying, "Oh, I've got better IQ," I was like, "Bro, come on now." Like, I know Liam can box. Like, Liam's good. Man, I just thought it was funny that Gratch was saying that he's got IQ. You know, like, based on what? What have you done that shows IQ? Like, you haven't done anything. If you come in and did it, okay, all right, fine. But you can punch. Like, that's got nothing to do with IQ. You know,
They're two different metrics.
Yeah, maybe you went in trying to box with Taliva. That's maybe why you got pumped. But I don't know.
Wow.
But
remember when you said, what happens if you lose? You're going to go back to the farm? The bull's going to go back to the farm?
yeah, well, that's what he was doing before. He was rounding sheep up, and then he was like, "Oh, I don't like this. I'm going to go and box because people are, you know, boxing looks like it's going all right now." And then Glenn Jennings obviously
Big farm boy strength, though.
Yeah, of course. But strength doesn't matter if you've got skill. If you're coming up against skill, strength doesn't matter.
Yeah, Usyk.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, all right, that's very interesting. Well, and another thing which I also like to highlight, if you will, it would be a quote that I have received from a fighter online. I've reached out and I go, "Excuse me, I'm having..."
This is a heavyweight?
This is a heavyweight and a current active heavyweight.
Current active heavyweight. All right, then.
And he said this. I go, "Is there a message that I could give to you as we are doing the interview right now in the potty?" He goes, "Say what you want. There's nothing to be said." And that was from Taramoana Jr., someone that's a potential rival of you. And as we know on Still Boxing's Instagram, we've tagged one of the posts saying, "Hey, listen, these two need to fight ASAP" at Eddie Hearn. You've shared that. Started getting a bit of sort of traction from there. Quite a lot of people message us saying, "Wow, that's hectic, this is happening," things like that. In conjunction with that, in the George Kambosos undercard, you ran into him as well, and it was very much cordial. But then again, it happens to be on one of the and still under comments. You're like, he was saying, "Oh, Jackson Murray, where you at?" He sort of semi-called you out during the press conference, and then you're like, "Where was that attitude beforehand?" You know, that type of online sort of stuff. Is there any response to that? And is there any? Can you unbox this for us?
Yeah, so the first time I've ever met him face to face was at that weigh-in, the Kambosos weigh-in, when he fought that killer that he fought, that James Singh. And that was the first time I'd ever seen him. And he goes, "Oh, you know, I saw him coming. I go, oh, here he is," like this. And, you know, I shook his hand and he goes, "Oh, what are you here for? You here to actually come and fight me finally," or something like this. And I was like, "I know. What do you think I'm here for? Of course, that's what I'm here for." And he goes, "Oh, true," like this. And then just walked into the weigh-in and that was it, right? And I think he thought when he was like, "Oh, you here to say I'm going to fight?" I think he thought I was going to go to water. But that's genuinely what we were there for. We spoke to Eddie at the weigh-in. We spoke to Eddie. That's where we got the photo with him. We said, "Bro, you know, you see Taramoana, imagine what we could do here as an Australian thing. Let's do something, you know. Let's work. Give me a couple fights, get me more exposure, get him more exposure. Imagine what it could be." Right? And then that's what we want. That's what we wanted. I only just got told, but again, when you're signed, and this is what I put on my Instagram story this, and a few people said you should post this because people don't know. But I've never been signed to a promoter because I've never wanted to. I've had a few offers from local and, you know, places here in Australia. I don't want to say names.
Yep.
But I've always known what I can do, and I know that that's not where would probably be in my best interest. And I know that I can be on one of these bigger. I've always wanted the bigger platforms, you know. And so I've never had a promoter. Whereas like a lot of these other guys, they've been signed to a promoter from day one. They have no say in who they fight. They don't. The promoter does not care what they think. The fighter can sit there and go, "I'm calling him out. I'm doing this. Where are you at? Blah, blah, blah." It doesn't matter, bro, because the promoter's going to go, we don't want him to fight him. What if he loses? That guy's good. You know, oh yeah, good for the fighter. You know, he doesn't care. He's confident, but he's not fighting him. What if he loses? That's our our investment. That's our investment gone now too early. You know, so when Teremana says, "Oh, Jackson Murray, who is this guy?" Blah blah blah. That's what he said in that interview after the fight, after his last fight. You know, and he knows damn well who I am. And he was saying something about they offered me something years and years ago. First of all, how would you know? Because your promoter does your work for you. So how do you know that anything even came through? And I got told that my coach told me that they had been talking about it. He had spoken to my coach. The Tasman fighters had spoken to my coach. This is like 3 years ago. I did like 1 or 2 pro fights. And they'd said something about it, but then it never ended up eventuating, and I got fights with no limit anyway. So that's what we just did that. Anyway, then now, 2 days ago, my manager just called me. So my manager also manages Stephen Torres now, the guy that I fought in Vegas. He's now 6-2 on his record. So they called my manager. My manager told me just yesterday, they called my manager Matchroom, and they said, we've got a heavyweight card coming up in Australia on DAZN. I think I can't remember when he said it was like August or something like that. And my manager was like, "Oh yeah, they asked me about a fight in Australia. Let me see the name." My manager was like, Teremana. I go, "Yeah, sweet. Tell him we'll fight him. Just tell us what the money is. I want to make sure the money's sweet because I know they're paying, and so they should, right?" My manager goes, "Oh no, I know you'll fight him. They've already said no." And they asked for Stephen Torres, the other guy, the guy that I beat in Vegas. That's who they asked for. And Eugene was like, "No, Stephen's not fighting him. I don't want Stephen's not coming to Australia to fight. No, Jackson will fight him." No. That was it.
They don't want, and they said, "We'll look for someone else." Right.
So this is the thing. And again, this isn't Teremana. I'm not saying Teremana, you're scared. I'm not doing any of that. It's what he would do if the roles were reversed. But I don't do that because I know we're fighters. We're in this game. No one's scared. No one is scared. It's just you have to be smart about it as well. You know, and I don't. To be honest, I don't think he is because he's saying I'll fight every Tom, Dick, and Harry. You know, who these guys are better than him as well. And he's saying, "Yeah, I'll fight him. I'll fight him. I'll fight him." Take your time. You know, make smart moves. Make smart moves. You know, as long as it makes sense. And this is what I said, and people go, "Oh, Jackson always says as long as it makes sense." Yeah, it's got to make sense either financially or in terms of career growth, which I think that's pretty straightforward. So that's how the game works.
Yeah,
and
right.
As I said, I've never been locked down to a promoter. So when I've had fights and stuff like that, like when I fought Stephen Torres, that was given to me. They said yes or no. He was 6-0, 6 knockouts at the time. And that was given to me, and they just said, "Do you want to fight him?" Yes.
Yeah.
If I had a promoter in the way, the promoter would have gone, "No, he's not fighting him. Get him someone who's 10 or 6-3 or something like that."
James
right?
Singh.
You said it, not me. But anyway.
Yeah, he should be fighting people more than that. He's versing another guy, Singh, this weekend, or whenever this gets released. He would have fought him, and he's going to walk through him. It's another.
So, funnily enough, I actually found this opponent.
Oh, what?
So, I found this opponent, and I asked this opponent. I had organised with my manager contact with this opponent for a fight here, which was in Sydney, and the promotion.
You meant to fight him. Mm-hmm. Is he any good? What's his?
Look. He's a big guy. He's like 6. I think he's a lot bigger than people realise. He's like 6'5", 6'6", 125 kilos. Like he's a big dude, and he was a national champion in India. India's a good amateur boxers. So,
they are.
Yeah,
they
are. A lot of people they get a bad rap because a lot of the Fijian Indians are the ones who just coming over for a bit of coin.
The guy that just fought Pedro was Indian.
Yeah. Pakistani. But that's the thing. Yeah, they get there. But mate,
don't say it.
When they what?
Don't say it. You're going to say it's the same thing. You were. I knew it.
No, it wasn't. That was what you were thinking.
Nah, definitely not. And they're real good at weightlifting as well. Like people they underestimate how athletic these people from 100%. India are. Weightlifting, boxing, great amateur stuff. Sorry, I derailed what you're saying. Yeah.
No, yeah. No, so I saw this guy who was 6-0. It's and again, it's money's hard because I was paying for this guy. So I contacted the promotion And I said, and it was just like a more low-key promotion. It wasn't anything big televised or anything like that. And I said, I've got this guy, he's 6-0, he's 6'5", 125 kilos. He's a national champion. We want to bring him over. He's agreed to a price. We've organised everything. I'll cover his flights, his accommodation. We'll cover everything. And I will take 0 purse. And the promoter was like, okay, sweet. Yep. Anyway, 2 days later, they come back and they go, nah, we don't want that guy. We don't want an international guy on our card. They meant an Indian. But we don't want an international guy on our card, blah, blah, blah. So that was why. So he wasn't good enough for their card.
When was this fight meant to be?
I don't know, 4 months ago, something-ish, or whatever. I don't want to say what promotion was because I'm not here to...
Okay.
But
yeah,
anyway,
we're not
but
here
that's
to do
just,
that.
it's more about the boxing game,
Yeah.
not pointing the finger at particular people. But somehow he's good enough to be on an international card.
Design, drop a tire undercard. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's the thing. It sucks, but it is what it is.
Yeah. All right. Well, obviously you think he's probably going to get over the line on this one, would you say? Big T? The Big Terror?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
We've got some interesting people on the undercards here. Before we get to yours, because you're going to have you have a very interesting arc coming up. Just while we're on it, we have Jai Pataya fighting on that card. Just probably a keep busy fight. I think what's his name? Claudio Squero. I think he's paying like $27 to win. 27 to and Jai Pataya's paying like $1.
Yeah, far
So
out.
it's one of those ones. It's just like a keep busy until.
Yeah, well, I spoke to Taps and Jai at the Cambosis undercard and the weigh-in, and they said it's so difficult getting Jai opponents, and I believe that, especially in the cruiserweight division, it's a bit
quiet at the moment.
It's not necessarily a popping division, and especially with someone like Jai, it's going to be a hard task getting him opponents. Yeah,
number one boxer in Australia at the moment, you think?
Yeah, it's hard. I don't like doing that because it's like everyone's good in their own sort of like
pound for pound.
Yeah.
Or is it you?
I get,
Or is it you?
No. No, I'm not saying that yet. I've got to earn my keep. But it's hard to say. Like, man, I love Liam Pyro. Man, what he did is so underrated, man. Went to Puerto Rico and beat the guy that
Preach.
No one
Preach.
No one wanted to fight him anywhere in the world.
Matias, everyone dodging.
No one wanted to fight him
him
anywhere in the world. Liam went over and beat him in his hometown. That is mental, man. That is mental. So like that's huge. Like that's no disrespect to Cambosis, but I think that's bigger than the Cambosis Teofimo one. You know,
that was hectic though.
Unbelievable.
That was high level.
Unbelievable.
That was the catalyst to put Australian boxing back on the map.
100%.
So I always will give Cambosis credit for that.
Oh, me too. Me too. Cambosis, and that's why I say when we talk about Jai, that's why I don't like I would definitely say Jai, Pyro, and Cambosis for sure, and Zoo. Yeah.
No, that's fair. That's a good point, man. All right, that's good. All right, so that's where it's at. Anyway, the message from Teramayan again was say what you want. There's nothing to be said. Reply to that.
Hey. No, I don't know. Like, he didn't even say anything.
It's cryptic, isn't it?
It's again, bro, he's got a promoter in the way, so it doesn't matter what I say, you know? Like, it's...
So what I'm picking up here...
I will see you soon.
Perfect.
We will. And we will. It'll be the Muhammad Ali, George Foreman of Australia.
Oy.
Tell me it's not.
Please give him a message to Hearn.
To Eddie. Eddie, stop reading my texts and leaving it. I know you don't want your boy to get derailed just yet, and that's fine by me. Just give me a couple of fights, right? Build me up, keep building your boy up, and then I'll derail him. And then me and you will make the money. It's all good.
Happy with that. Eddie, you've heard it here today, folks. Okay, so now going to your career. We know what's going on now. Jai's going to do that. He's going to do his thing. We have you going all the way on Monday, I think it is, going all the way from here to Argentina to verse Leonardo Robuti, Argentinian heavyweight who I've seen fight in real life.
AKA La Bestia, the Beast.
The Beast, La Bestia. All right, you're going to be versing him. Now, a bit of background. This guy's pretty big unit. I remember seeing him fight on a Tasman Fighters card where I was doing a bit of work for them up there.
Yeah.
He went 2 rounds with Justice Hooney. Okay, he was actually wasn't too bad actually fighting. Like considering he's one of these guys that's not like a white chalk, but like he's a pretty big guy. He's doing a little bit better than I thought initially.
Yeah.
But he got stopped in round 2.
Yeah.
You're going to go over there to his home ground, to his own back garden, and then fight him. Do you have to do better than round 2? Or do you want rounds? What's kind of the idea here? He might even hear this.
I'm not too concerned with the rounds as such. I definitely don't want it to go like late. I definitely think it's not that I don't want to, I just can't see it. I can't see it going past 5. I just want to be tidy. I just want to be tidy in what I'm doing, you know what I mean? So that's a big thing. My thing is always hit, don't get hit. And Hooney did an awesome job. He got clipped a couple of times though because he just rushed it a little bit, and didn't have to. But I think Hooney was also trying to make a bit of a statement because people were saying he can't punch and blah, blah, blah. And so he was just coming in and just went boom and just blasted him out. I'm not too worried about that. I think I'm going to catch him with something anyway. And I know I can punch. I know I can punch, especially from southpaw as well. It just hits different too, But him being a southpaw too, I actually like fighting southpaws as well. I see...
Get that jab working a bit more?
It's just, I don't know, I see easier openings sometimes too. I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's southpaws don't like normally fighting other southpaws, which is normally the thing, but I just like it. So it normally works for me. So no, I'm keen as. I'll definitely, I can't see it going past 5 rounds. I can't see La Bestia going more than 5 rounds with me.
And where is it going to be held over in Argentina? If there are any Australian boxing fans in Argentina, please get over there and support our boy.
Of course. Buenos Aires Casino.
Yeah.
Yeah, the casino there, yeah. So that's where they do a lot of their shows there, yeah.
And who's on the main event on that one?
Actually, I didn't even know. It's Nannito Donaire. Nannito Donaire is fighting Ramos or
yes.
Nannito Donaire is unbelievable Filipino fighter.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's obviously next in line after Manny out of the Philippines.
A bit older as well. Manny makes a comeback. I make a comeback.
Yeah. He's 42. He actually went pro when he was 16. I was 6 when he went pro.
Excuse me?
That's insane.
Excuse me?
Yeah, he's an animal. So to know, and he was one of probably the hardest fight Naoya Inoue has had.
Yes.
It was a great fight.
People that's people say it's the blueprint on how to beat Inoue.
Yeah. And Donaire was past his time by then too.
100%. That's great.
He's an awesome fighter. So I'm stoked to be on the other card of that. Yeah.
All right. Just really quick one. A prime Pacquiao versus Inoue. Who would win that? Oh, quick.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'd have to say Inoue.
Yeah, I might have to say Inoue as well. He's got the power on both hands. Because at that time, when he was at that division, it was just like the 1-2. Quick 1-2, but yeah.
Yeah.
Not fair. All right. So after this fight, and we're going to get the win. We're not going to look over anyone, but we're going to rack up that club dub. But then tell them where you're going. You're rolling in, not back to Australia.
Yeah. So this got organised just yesterday. I got the offer 2 days ago, and I said to my manager. Said to my manager, I'm like, bro, I can't, a Russian visa. You need an invite number. And you need all this stuff, and then you got to go to in the city to get it done, and blah blah blah. It's a whole big process. It takes nearly 2 weeks. Anyway, I told my manager, bro, it's not going to happen. That was 2 days ago. And then one of my mates in Russia, he was the sparring manager for Gassiev. Mm-hmm. So he messaged me and he sends me this poster after I just said no. He sends me a fight poster of me on the top of the card like this and Russia versus the world and all this. And I'm like...
Moscow?
No, St. Petersburg.
Jackson, you'll fight in St. Petersburg.
Yeah.
You'll do a good job.
We look forward to this one. Yeah, so they had just obviously asked my manager and then just said, yep, he's fighting. We've told him that... We've asked him that means he's fighting. So anyway, I had said no originally, and then I told Eugene, I'm like, bro, it can't happen. And then Eugene got in contact with him, told him, no, it can't happen. They got in contact with whoever, like I'm assuming the IBA, contacted the consulate here in Sydney. And normally you can't even go to the consulate. Like it's got to be, like it's... Anyway, they go to the consulate right now, and they're just going to let you in, and they'll do it right now, and you'll be able to pick it up like within a day. And I was like...
Putin direct is like, yeah, bring him over.
Yeah, he was there.
You know what? Here's the crazy thing. He's probably going to be at this fight. If it's Russia versus the world, you're probably going to get Big P, the big man himself.
I might have to take a dive then. Like,
Hey, all right, hold on.
what?
If Putin's there, right? Just say you're there warming up in the back. Papa, getting the jab working. You've been warming up for an hour and a half, feeling good, got a sweat on, you're ready. Just had a fight, a big win, no damage. You've got it done 5 rounds, you're tidy. Two big Russians, KGB. What chocolate? You must go down in round 4. Otherwise, you'll be going 6 feet down. Do you go down?
No.
Brother, I'll be going down.
I contact my manager first. My manager knows. He knows.
He's Russian as well.
Yeah. He knows what's up. He'll have some connects. He'll know what's up. So it's all good.
Mafia versus mafia.
Yeah.
All right.
100%.
That's hectic. That's all right. Okay. You make a few phone calls.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I like that.
For sure.
Okay. And you're going to be versing their heavyweight. What's his name?
David Surov.
David Surov. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
And
So-
do you know much? Have you seen many fights? Because
Yeah, so-
this is alarming because you're versing this guy, and then like
Polar opposites.
brother, and a couple of days later, this probably Soviet style long.
Exactly right.
Ruski.
He's a 6'3", but real
Clean.
Usyk style boxing, like Usyk amateur boxing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like that real bouncing, that European
pendulum
style.
step, 1-2s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he had a good fight with the Jalolov. He had a good fight with him. He lost on points. That's like one of his only amateur losses that's recorded. He's like 28 wins or something like that.
Yeah.
But no, he's obviously one of their prospects. He's on their national team, hence why this event's going ahead and why he's on it. So yeah, and then I've fought obviously on the previous IBA card, and then that was where they got me from, I suppose. Or yeah,
You're right.
so we're
And
getting
they're
it
paying
done.
you tidy for that, so you're getting like a double pump, if you will.
I'm not getting paid for Argentina. I don't get paid
This is why.
because
Excuse me. Hold on. This is professional boxing, ladies and gentlemen. Can you? What?
yeah. So
It's a holiday.
lot
They pay for your holiday to Argentina.
yeah, well, no, they don't pay really for anything. My my manager's paying a lot. He's paying for the opponent. He's got to pay the sanctioning fees for the title. It's a WBA Continental American title, so yeah, there's a lot of money that goes into it, and then yeah, it's just we are paying for the opportunity. So
Okay,
my
to climb
coach,
the ranks.
my coach has had to pay his own flights. Originally, my manager was like, "I've got no money to pay for your coach. It's all right, you don't need him." And I was like, "Well, yeah, I do.
Excuse
It's the
me.
whole point of a coach."
Excuse me.
So, yeah, my coach. Shout out to my sponsors. You know, Bondi Pure, CRL Express, and Ausbet Tips, and then of course Elite Body for my recovery, getting me ready for this coming up to it. But yeah, if it wasn't for them, man, it couldn't happen. So yeah, it's literally because of them that we're able to get it done. So yeah, Ronnie's got flights now. He's coming. So we were hoping to get my
Ronnie's a crack up
like
as
a
well.
co-coach. Yeah, he's a legend.
Yeah.
We're hoping to get my co-coach over as well, who's from Argentina. He's from Buenos Aires. So we were hoping to get him over as well, but we just didn't get the money. So
Yeah. I'll come.
because he knows everyone there.
Can I come? I'll
Why
pay
not?
for my own tickets.
Yeah.
Film it.
Why not?
And I'll come to Russia.
Why not?
Duh.
Well, Russia, no, you need the invitation, brother.
Talk to Putin for me.
He might get you in to fight one of the Russian guys. Then you
Hap- Yeah, happy with that. Yeah. And I'll be like, I'll take a knee. Just get
Yeah.
dropped regularly. Anyway, that's fantastic. All right. While we're on, actually, Huni will be fighting Fabio Wardley.
Yep.
Did you see the video that came out today of Justice Huni's sparring?
Yeah, I saw it surfacing again. It's been surfacing. I feel sorry for the dude, bro. It's boxing. You go swimming, you get wet.
Yeah.
Everyone goes down. Like it's
But that just happened today, wasn't it?
the one where he dropped and he rolled and got up and
Yeah, he got like in the ring. It's like that, like CCTV footage
yeah, in
almost.
the yellow ropes.
Yeah,
And he had no headgear on.
Yes.
Bro, that's old as the hills. It's like Ben Kelleher, I think, or someone from here in Australia. It's like at least 2 years old, and it's getting surfaced again now because
Someone just said he just got dropped. Ah, so it's fake news.
yeah, bro, yeah. And it's like mate, I sparred Honey, I cracked him with some shots. You can go anywhere.
Yeah.
Like so, it doesn't mean anything, you know.
Yeah,
like
it's just the nature of it.
Yeah. Sometimes you just get hit in the shot and it's,
Rattles you.
yeah, that's it. This is how it is. It's
No.
the fun. It's the fun of the game.
So what do you reckon? Yeah, it's fun of the game. I think that Hoodie's in a good shot here because Fabio Wardley really likes that stationary target to bang on with. Big power, unorthodox, a little bit weird in his fighting style because he doesn't have that amateur background, that robust amateur background. Hooney obviously does come from that, but he's got that very much that in and out. He likes to take people to deep waters. I think in that middle of his career there, you want to knock people out because people said it. But I think he's told me a few times that he's reverted back to that style of, hey, take your deep waters, drown you.
Yeah.
I'm not a big cracker, but I can do the damage late, especially.
Man, I'm telling you can as well. Like
Because he's a unit. He's
throws,
a strong guy.
When he throws the body shots, especially his body shots are fucking unreal.
Kabayel-esque.
Yeah.
Because he'll jump in and out to deliver it. While Kabayel's there.
Honey will hit you with a body shot you don't see. Whereas like Kabayel will hit you with a shot that he'll hit you with like, he'll just throw 4 of them. You know what I mean? Just because he doesn't care what's coming back. You know what I mean? Whereas like Honey could get you with a shot you don't see and then you've thrown something after it and he's already gone.
Yeah. And they kind of look similar as well. Like,
oh, bro, it was weird. I was saying it to one of my mates that was in camp with me as well. I was saying, bro, how much does he look like Honey?
This guy's a Honey. Yeah.
So, I was like, I always say it's like if they fight, you're never gonna know who's who.
Yeah.
But
remember they both had the goatees?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
they're both running everything. It's like they're messaging each other.
Yeah, same bodies. Yeah, I'm like, oh, this is weird.
Yeah. In terms of that fight, man. Yeah, I think exactly what you said. I think as long as Honey's defensive minded and sharp defensively, which I'm sure he will be. I think deep waters he'll either land something or a unanimous decision. I think. I actually know a few. I was speaking to one of the coaches here, who's from the UK, and he told me there's a few guys in the UK who have trained a lot with Wardley, and even they're back in Honey.
Really?
Yeah. Right. So. But yeah, man, I hope Honey wins.
Well, you know what? There's that effect where it's like an Australian heavyweight wins. In reality, we've never had a heavyweight champion like internationally recognised, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
A heavyweight wins, like Hooney beats Fabio Wardley. The trickle-down effect from that for yourself, Big T, and all these other guys, everyone, they get the status improved from that. They're like, oh, something's gone down in Australia, got some heavyweights. People look you up. People look up this podcast, for example, you discussing all this. They start seeing these things. And that's great. That highlights that, right?
Yeah, definitely. That's obviously another reason I hope Honey wins. But I do. I like Honey, man.
He's a real low-key, nice guy.
Yeah, he is.
Smooth
top
boxer.
Dude. So, yeah. But yeah, of course, it's big for Aussie boxing as well. There's nothing worse when these if the Aussie guys. I mean, obviously everyone's just doing the best they can, but it just digs a knife in a little bit when if they don't do. If they go the distance is fine or whatever, if they have a good fight, but sometimes it doesn't look good if they go down quickly, because I know, especially more so America, not so much the UK. I don't know, maybe a little bit more so now, but Australians haven't always got the best rap. So, but as I said, as we were talking before, with these guys who are coming through, we definitely are now. But yeah, that heavyweight scene is definitely one that we sort of got to start stamping it. As well.
Yeah.
So,
and like. The older generation, which are now sort of phasing out now, Dempsey McKean, your Lucas Browns, these guys, but now the new wave, and you're part of that, which is very, very exciting.
Yeah, for sure. Don't put Lucas Brown and Dempsey in the same. Dempsey's better than Lucas.
Listen,
Lucas is he's trash.
he was a good talker. I thought he was always a good talker. Well, listen, thank you very much.
Dempsey ducked him.
Yeah, well, listen. Always have respect for anyone that jumps into that ring.
No, of course.
Big time.
Of course.
Dempsey, we love you still. Listen, thank you very much for coming, for highlighting all these very, very important things and sharing your experiences high level. Listen, this is Jackson Murray. I'm Guy McKinnon, and this is Then Still Boxing. Until next time.
Thank you for listening. If you liked this episode, please subscribe to the channel for future content.